There we go. Right.
Hierdie antivirus. This antivirus, should I renew or uninstall it?
No, just you,
You.
and then just say no.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds much better.
Is it better now?
Yeah, I think just needed to restart quickly. I can remember you live now, eh? I'm gonna
Okay.
mute you. This for the time.
Okay. Can you hear me? 40, 40, 16 hour, 40, 60, 40, 80, 40, 18 hour, 40, 80, make it 41. Can you hear me? 41, 41. Twenty. Asking 41, 40. 41, 20 now. 41. Ask for 40, 40, 41, 40. 41, 40 now. Asking for 41, 40. Ja, niks ek sê maar net.
Just keep your phone with you, really. I'm gonna find.
Okay, 100%. Wat is die password? Pizza. Hoofletter P, I. Dit is eintlik sterk. Maar ek gaan my nou dan gaan ek my foon op loudspeaker net hier sit. Dan gaan ek opvul dan hoor hy met hierdie foon en deur die rekenaar. Yes, on. Sê my ding probeer. Ja. Sound and the video. Yeah, I am back now. Yes. It's unmuted now. Can you hear me? Thank you. Ek het gewaar inkom. As hy Speenkalfveiling, baie welkom aan alles verkopers wat hier sit by ons vandag en baie welkom ook aan al die kopers wat hier by ons is vandag. Ons sê vir julle baie dankie. As daar enige vrae vir julle kant af is, stuur net die boodskap hier op. Dat ons kan help of kontak vir Dieter. Hy's ook hier by my. Dan kan ons die ding deur praat. En dan met lot 1. Dames en here, Colors 286, dames en here. Hulle is in Bakloos, hulle word binne in die dorp gelaai, dames en here. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen,
Let me just make my... Okay.
Kan julle allemaal my hoor? Hoor julle my nou?
Yeah.
They can't see me on the option, like is he op? They can't see me. Sien julle my nog steeds nie? Is dit lekker? Ja, ek sien gemute lyn.
Video and sound is right.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Kijk, kan allemaal my hoor? Net 'n afkondiging, ek wil net sê, alle colors moet asseblief binne die volgende 14 dae gelaai word, dames en here. Van maandag af, binne 14 dae gelaai word asseblief. Julle moet asseblief julle eie penalisasies op die pryse uitwerk. Colors word geweeg voor laai en word per kilogram opgeveil. Baie dankie. Ons begin dan met lot 1. Bull colors 260 tot 320 kg, dames en here. Hulle weeg 286 gemiddeld. Stop me. Let's go 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, wat sê laat vir R40. Let's go 40 now, start me at 38. Let's go 38, ladies and gentlemen, 38 now, 38. Let's go 38, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38. R38, dames en here, wat sê 38, thank you. 38, make it 38, 20. Let's go 38, 20 now, 20. Asking 38, 20, ladies and gentlemen, let's go 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20. Asking 20, ladies and gentlemen, 38, 20. At 38, 20 now, 20, 20. Asking 20. Let's go 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. 38, 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. At 38, 20 now, 38. All out and done, ladies and gentlemen, at 38. 38 rand, dames en here, 38 now. 38, are you all out and done? Are you sure? At 38, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to pass them by for a few seconds. At 38, just passing them by. Lot nummer 2, dames en here, hierso. Lot nummer 2, 243 kilogram. All of them are males, ladies and gentlemen. What do you say? Start me at 44 rand. 44 rand, dames en here, wat sê laat? Let's go 44. Asking 44, now we're 42. Let's go 42, asking 42. 42, now we're 42, now we're 42. Asking 42, ladies and gentlemen, wat sê laat? 42 rand. Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. Make it 42, now we're 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. At 42 now, ladies and gentlemen, wat sê laat? Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40, now we're 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40, now we're 40, 40, now we're 40, 40, make it 40, 20. Let's go 20, now we're 20. Let's go 40, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 20. Let's go 20, now we're 20, 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, anybody at 20. At 40, 20, now we're 40, 40. At 40, 40, asking 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 60, now we're 40, 60. Let's go 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. At 40, 60, now we're 40, 60, ladies and gentlemen. At 40, 60, make it 40, 80. At 41, now we're 41, asking 41, ladies and gentlemen, now. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, 44, 80. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, 41, what's it, 41, asking 41, ladies and gentlemen, at go 41, 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, 41, 20, make it 40. Let's go 40 now, 41, 40. Let's go 41, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, make it 60. Let's go 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41, 60. At 41, 80 now, 41, 80. 41, 80, make it 42. Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, 42, 20 now, 20, 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 42, 20 now, 42, 20, 44, 40. Let's go 44, 40 now, 60. At 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, 60 now, 60, 80. Make it 80 now, ladies and gentlemen, 42, 80, 43. Asking 43, ladies and gentlemen, say it out for 3 and 4. Make it 43, 20 20. Let's go 20 now at 20, 20, 20, make it 40. Let's go 40 now at 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 60 now. Asking 60, ladies and gentlemen, 80. Let's go 80 now, make it 80 now, 43, 80. Let's go 43, 80, ladies and gentlemen, 43, 80. Asking 43, 80, ladies and gentlemen, 90 cents. Let's go 43, 80. 80 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 80. 43, 80, ladies and gentlemen, are you all out and done at 43, 60? 43, 60, ladies and gentlemen, all out and done at 43, 60. Going once, ladies and gentlemen, all out. Net gou hier so hoor. Hulle is maar verkoop. 43.60. 43.60 was Wallace. Net gou hier hoor. $43.60. 43.60 op lot 2. Dus na die tyd kan ons maar verkoop. That's 43.60. They sold, ladies and gentlemen, 43.60. Bye, dankie. Moving to lot 3, ladies and gentlemen. 100% bill colors, daar so, dames en heren. 206 kilogram, dames en heren, word binnen in Barclay Oos gelaai. Asking 42, start me at 42, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, wat sê daar vir 42 rand? Let's go 42 now, 42, asking 42. Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, wat sê hulle? Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. At 42 is 206 kilogram average, dames en heren. Allemaal bill colors. Kyk mooi, start me at 42, at 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42, now we're 41, asking 41, ladies and gentlemen, make it a 41 now, let's go to 41, at 41, make it 41.20, let's go 41.20 now, we're at 20.20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20, let's go 41.20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41.20, let's go 20 now, we're at 20.20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41.20, let's go 41.20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20, let's go 41.20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41.20, at 41.20, ladies and gentlemen, at 41.20, 41, ladies and gentlemen, are you all out and done, ladies and gentlemen, at 41? All up and done. You're just going to pass them by a little. We'll talk afterwards. 41.20. Gaan my. At 41.20, 41.20, make it a 41.40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40 now, 40, 40. Let's go 41.40 now, 60. Asking 41.60, ladies and gentlemen, 41.60. Let's go 41.60 now, 41.60. Make it a 41.60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41.60. At 41.80 now, 48, 80 now, 42. Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. Let's go 42 now, 42, 20, 40 now, 40, 40. Let's go 42, 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, 60, 80 now, 80, 42, 80. Let's go 42, 80, ladies and gentlemen, 42, 80. Asking 42, 80, 43 now. At 43, make it 43, 20 now, 43, 20. Let's go 43, 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, 40. Make it 40 now, 60. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, 43, 60. Let's go 43, 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 60 now, 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. At 43, 60 now, 43, 80. Let's go 80 now, 44, ladies and gentlemen, asking 44. Let's go 44, ladies and gentlemen, asking 44. At 43, 80 now, asking 44. Let's go 44, ladies and gentlemen, 44 rande. Let's go 44, ladies and gentlemen, asking 44. 44 rande, dames en heren, let's go 44 now, 44, asking 44, ladies and gentlemen, are you all out and done? At 43.80, ladies and gentlemen, at 43.80. Net gou so vraag en ons maar verkoop 43.80. At 43.80. 43.80 op lot 3. 43.80. Maar koop. Salt 43.80, ladies and gentlemen. Koper nummer 5.5, dames en heren. Take it away. Moving on to lot number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Lot number 4, ladies and gentlemen. 82 colors, 100% bill colors, dames en heren. Hulle weeg 182 kilogram. Insuurvlakte buite Barclay, dames en heren. Here they are, asking 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say now for 41 rand. Let's go 41 now for 41. Let's make it 41 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now for 41, 20. Make it 20 now for 41, 20 now for 41, 20. Let's go 20 now for 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. At 41, 20 now, asking 41, 20. Let's go 41, 20, ladies and gentlemen, 20. Make it 40. At 60 now for 60, 80. Let's go 80, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. 41, 60 now for 41, 60. At 41, 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41, 60. Let's go 41, 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41, 60. Let's go 60 now for 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. At 60 now for 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. At 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, make it 80. Let's go 41, 80 now for 42, asking 42 now, make it 42. Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, 42. Asking 42, ladies and gentlemen, 42, 20 now for 20. Let's go 20 now for 20, 40, 40, make it 40. Let's go 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 42, 40 now for 40, 40. Let's go 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42, 40. At 42, 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42, 40. At 42, 40, make it 60, 80. Asking 80, ladies and gentlemen, 42.80. At 80 now, at 80, ladies and gentlemen, 42.80. Asking 80 now, ladies and gentlemen, 42.80. At 42 rand, 80 cent, 43 now. At 43, make it 43.20, 20 now, 20. Let's go 43.20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43.20. Let's go 43.20, 40 now, 40. Let's go 43.60, asking 43.60, ladies and gentlemen. At 60 now, 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43.60. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 43.60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43.60. At 60 now, 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, take more. So at 60 now, 43.60, asking 43.60, ladies and gentlemen. At 43.60, ladies and gentlemen, are you all out and done at 43.40? 43.40, ladies and gentlemen, 43.40. All out and done, ladies and gentlemen, 43.40. Going once, going twice. Net hier so oor kan ons maar verkoop. Ons praat net gou na die tyd. Let's just talk afterwards. At 43.40. Yes. I'll say. Ons beweeg dan aan lot number 5, ladies and gentlemen. 61 cars, 100% males, ladies and gentlemen, 214 kgs. Vier vlakte net buite Barkley, dames en here. What do you say? Start me 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Make it 41 now. Let's go 41. At 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. What's hell up? 41 rand now. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. What's hell up? 41 rand. Let's go 41 now. 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Start me at 40. Let's go 40 now. 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now. 20 now. 40, 20. Let's go 40, 20 now. 40, 20, 20 now. 40, 20. Let's go 40, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 40, 20 now. 40, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 40, 20 now. 40, 20. At 40, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20 now. 40, 20. At 40, 20, make it 40, 40. At 40, 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 40 now. Make it 40, 60 now. 60. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, 80 now. 80. Asking 80 now, ladies and gentlemen, 40, 80. At 41 now. 41, asking 41, ladies and gentlemen, 40 rand 80. At 41, make it 41, 20. Let's go 20, 40 now. Let's go 41, 60. Let's go 41, 60, make it 80. Let's go 41, 80, 42 now. 42, 20. Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, 42, 20, 40 now. 40, 40, make it 60. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, 42, 60. Asking 42, 60 now. 42, 80 now. 80. Let's go 42, 80, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42, 80. Let's go 80, ladies and gentlemen, 80 now. 80, 80, but sailor. At 80 now, make it 43. Let's go 43, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43. At 43 now. 43, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43. At 43, 20, let's go 20. Let's go 20 now. 20, 20 now, asking 20. Let's go 20 now. 20, make it 40. Let's go 43, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 40 now. 60. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 43, 60, ladies and gentlemen, 80 now. 80. At 43, 80, ladies and gentlemen, 80. At 80, make it 44 now. Let's go 44, ladies and gentlemen, asking 44 now. 44. Let's go 44, ladies and gentlemen, asking 44. At 44 rand, dames en heren, wat sellen. Let's go 44 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 44 now. At 44 rand, dames en heren, wat sellen. Let's go 44, ladies and gentlemen, asking 44. 43.80, ladies and gentlemen, are you all out and done? At 43.80, ladies and gentlemen, what do you say? Net, gaan by die verkoper hoor hier so. 43.80. 43.80, ladies and gentlemen. 43.80, ons gaan net gou na die tyd met jou praat. Baie dankie. Baie number 5015. Just talk to you afterwards. Thank you very much. Ons beweeg dan net aan, dames en here, na lot number 6 toe. Lot number 6, it's 20 male calves, ladies and gentlemen. 256 kilograms, ladies and gentlemen. 30 kilometers outside of Barclays towards Lady Grey, ladies and gentlemen. Start me at 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41 now. 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Let's go 41 now. 41, start me at 40. Let's go 40 now. 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now. 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. At 40 rand, dames en heren, wat sellen. Let's go 40 now. 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 40, make it 40, 20 now. 40, 20. Let's go 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 40, 20 now. 40, 20, 20 now, asking 20. Let's go 40, 40 now. 40, 40. At 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60, 80. Let's go 40, 80 now, ladies and gentlemen, 80 now, 80. At 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Let's go 41 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Let's go 41. At 41, ladies and gentlemen, 41, 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41, 40. Let's go 41, 40 now, 41, 40. At 41, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41, 40. Let's go 41, 40, ladies and gentlemen, at sela, 40 rand, 40 cent. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40, ladies and gentlemen, 41, 40. Let's go 41, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 40 rand, 40 cent. Let's go 41, 40 now, 41, 40. And make it 40 now, 40, make it 40. At 41, 40 now, 41, 40. Let's go 41, 40, ladies and gentlemen, are you all out and done? At 41, 20, ladies and gentlemen, 41, 20. Ons gaan net gou na die tyd praat, we'll just talk after the sale. Buy number 5015. We'll just check after the sale. Thank you very much. Lot number 7, ladies and gentlemen. 27 male calves, 293. Selling plus, dames en heren, daar staan hulle. What do you say? Start me at 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Now what's the offer? 41 rand. Let's go 41 now, 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Let's go 41 now, start me at 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. 40 rand, dames en heren, what's the offer? 40 now, let's go 39. Let's go 39, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39. At 39 rand, dames en heren, what's the Let's go 39, what's the offer? 39 now, asking 39, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 39, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39. 38 now. Let's go 38, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody at 38? At 39 now, at 39. Thank you. Let's go 39, 20 now, at 39, 20. Let's go 20 now, at 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 20 now, at 39, 20 now, at 39, 20. Let's go 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. At 20, 20 now, at 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 39, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. 39 rand, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna pass them by. Talk to you afterwards. 0015. Ons gaan net gou na die tyd mee praat. Baie dankie vir daai ondersteuning. Ons beweeg aan lot nommer 8, dames en heren. 68 calves, 100% bull calves, ladies and gentlemen. 183 kilograms. Start me at 42. At 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. Now we're at 42. Now we're at 42. At 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. At 42, now we're at 42. Make it 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Now we're at 41. Let's go 41. At 41, 20. Now we're at 41, 20. Let's go 20. Now we're at 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 20. Now we're at 21. Make it 40. At 41, 60. Now we're at 41, 60. Asking 60, ladies and gentlemen, let's go 60. Now we're at 80. Asking 80, ladies and gentlemen, 80, 42. Now we're at 42. Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. At 42, dames en heren, wat sê let's go 42, now we're 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. Now we're 42 rand. Let's go 42, dames en heren, wat sê at 42, now ladies and gentlemen, you all out and done. At 41, 80, 42, now 20. Let's go 42 and 20, now we're 40. Let's go 40, now we're 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 42, 40, now we're 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 60, now we're 60. At 60, 80, now we're 80. At 43, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43. At 43, 20, now we're 43, 20, now 40. Let's go 40, now we're 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. At 40, now go 60, 80. Let's go 80, ladies and gentlemen, 43, 80. Asking 43, 80 now, ladies and gentlemen. 43 rand 80 sê dames en heren wat sê let's go 80 now, 80, 80, ladies and gentlemen, 43, 80. Let's go 43, 80, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43, 80. Let's go 43, 80, ladies and gentlemen. All out and done, ladies and gentlemen, at 43, at 44, asking 44, 20. Let's go 44, 20 now, 44, 20. Let's go 44, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 20 now, 44, 20. Asking 20, ladies and gentlemen, sê daar 44, 20 nou. Let's go 20 cents, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. 44, 20, ladies and gentlemen, now you're all out and done at 44 rand, ladies and gentlemen, 44 rand, dames en heren, all out and done, ladies and gentlemen, no more, going to sell, kan maar verkoop, hy is verkoop daar so, baie, dankie, buy number 5015, takes it away at 44, thank you very much. Moving on to lot number 9, ladies and gentlemen, 93 bull calves, 218 kilograms, ladies and gentlemen, 30 kilometers outside of Barkley. What do you say? Start me. 41. I'd go 41, ladies and gentlemen. 41 now. It's over in Let's go 41 now. 41, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen. Let's over in Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 41. Start me at 40. Let's go 40 now. 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 40. Let's go 40 now. 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 40. Let's go around the dames here. Let's go 40 now. 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 40. At 40 now. Make it 40, 20, 20 now. 20. Let's go 20, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 20. Let's go 40, 20 now. 40, 20, 20 now. 20. Let's go 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. At 40, 20 now, 40, 20. Let's say over 20 cents. Let's go. At go 40, 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen. At 40, 60 now, asking 40, 60. Let's go 40, 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's say stop dames here, but at 40, 80 now, 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41, 20 now, 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, 40 now, 40. Asking 40 now, 60. At 60, ladies and gentlemen, 41, 60, 80 now, 41, 80. At 42 now, ladies and gentlemen, 42, 20. Let's go 42, 20 now, 42, 20, 40 now, 40, 60, 80. Let's go 80, ladies and gentlemen, asking 80, 43 now, 43, 20. At 43, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43, 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 60, 80 now, 40, 80. Let's go 43, 80, ladies and gentlemen, 44. Asking 44, 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, make it 40. Let's go 42, 44, 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 44, 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 44, 20 now, 44, 20. Asking 44, 20, ladies and gentlemen. Are you all out and done, ladies and gentlemen, at 44 and all out and done at 44, ladies and gentlemen, no more. Kan ek maar verkoop? Alles verkoop daar so, sold by number 5015, takes it away for 44. Thank you very much. Bye, donkey. Moving on to lot number 10, ladies and gentlemen. 59, 100% male calves, ladies and gentlemen. 256 kilograms. 30 kilometers outside of Barclay, ladies and gentlemen. Start me at 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 41 now, 41 now, 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 41. Start me at 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen. Make it 40, 20. Let's go 40, 20 now, 40, 20, 20 now, 20. Let's go 20, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen. 40, 20. Let's go 40, 20, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 40, 20. Let's go 40, 20, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 40, 20. Let's go 40, 20, 20 now, 20, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 40, 20, ladies and gentlemen. What's here? Let's go 20 now, 20 now, 40 rand en 20 cent, dames en heren. Asking for 40, 20 now, 20. At 40 rand, ladies and gentlemen, just going to pass them by at 40, 20 now, 40, 20, 40 now, 40, 40, 60. Let's go 40, 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 60. Let's go 40, 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 60. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 40, 60 now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 40, 60 now, 40, 60, 80 now, 80. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, 41 rand no. Let's go to 41 now, 41, ladies and gentlemen, at 41, 20 now, 41, 40. Let's go 41, 40 now, 41, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41, 40. Let's go 41, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 41 rand 40 cent, dames en heren. Let's go 41, 40 now, 41, 40. Let's go 41, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 41, 40. Let's go 41, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 41 rand en 40 cent, dames en heren. Hulle almal klaar om 41, 20, all out and down, ladies and gentlemen, at 41, 20. Going once and twice. We're just going to pass them by. By number 5015, we'll talk to you afterwards. Thank you very much. Just moving on to lot number 11. Lot number 11 is 118 heifer calves, ladies and gentlemen. It's all females, 178 kilograms, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 38, start me at 38, ladies and gentlemen. 38 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 38 now, 38, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38. Let's go 38, ladies and gentlemen, start me at 38 now. 38 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 38, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38 now, 38, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38. 38 rand, dames en heren, start me at 37. 37, ladies and gentlemen, make it 37, 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 37, 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, ladies and gentlemen, 37, 20. At 37, 20 now, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, 37, 20 now, what's here? At 37, 20, ladies and gentlemen, are you all out and done at 37? Just gonna pass them by. 37, 20. 40, 60 now, 37, 60, at 37, 60 now, at 37, 60, 80. Let's go 80, 38 now. At 38, ladies and gentlemen, 38, 20 now, at 38, 20. At 38, 20 now, at 38, 40. At 68, 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39, 60. At 39, 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39, 60. Let's go 60 now, at 60, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, 39, 60. At 39, 60 now, wat sê hulle daar vir 60 sente, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 39, 80 now, at 80. Let's go 80, ladies and gentlemen, 39, 80 now, at 39, 80, 40. Let's go 40 now, at 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, 40 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, asking 40. Let's go 41, 20 now, 40, 20 now, 40, 20. At 40, 40 now, let's go 40 rand, 40 cente, dames en heren, 40, 40 now, 40, 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40 now, 40, 40. Asking 40, ladies and gentlemen, wat sê hulle? At 40, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 40. Let's go 40, 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 40 now, at 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 40 rand en 20 cent, dames en heren, 40 rand, 20 cents, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to pass them by, ladies and gentlemen. At 40, 20. We'll just talk to you afterwards. Thank you very much. Buy number 5015. We'll just talk to you after the sale. Thank you very much. Moving on to lot number 12, ladies and gentlemen. 146 versies, dames en heren. 222 kilogram. It's all heifers, ladies and gentlemen. 30 kilometers outside of Barclay. What do you say? Start me. 39, let's go. Let's go. 39, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39 now, but it's 39 rand. Let's go. 39, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39 now, but 39. Start me at 39, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39. At 38, ladies and gentlemen, let's go 38 now. Asking 38, ladies and gentlemen, start me at 38 now, but 38, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38. 38 rand, make it 38, 20 now, but 20. Let's go 20 now, but 20, 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 20 now, but 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, 38, 20. Let's go 38, 20, asking 38, 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, at 38, 20. At 38, are you all out and done at 38, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38, 20. 38, ladies and gentlemen, all out. 38.20 now, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, make it 60. Let's go 60 now, 38, 60 now, 80. Let's go 80 now, 38, 80. At 38, 80, make it 39 now. Let's go 39, ladies and gentlemen, 39, 20. Let's go 39, 20 now, 20, 20 now, 39, 20. At 60 now, 80, ladies and gentlemen, asking 80, 40 now, 40, 40, 20 now, 40, 20. Let's go 40, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 20, 40 now, 40, 40. Let's go 40, 40 now, 40, 40. Let's go 40 and 60 now, 40, 60. Let's go 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 60, what's it over? Say no. Let's go 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, 40, 60. Asking 40, 60, ladies and gentlemen, what's it? Let's go 40, 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 60. 40, 60, ladies and gentlemen, I all out and done at 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen. R40, ladies and gentlemen, going once and twice. All out and all done. Alles verkoop daar, so sold to buy number 5015. Takes it away for 40 rand and 40 cents. Thank you very much. Moving on to lot number 13, ladies and gentlemen. 29 heifers, ladies and gentlemen, 265 kilograms. 30 kilometers out of Barclay, ladies and gentlemen, start me. At 39, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39. Let's go 39, number 39, ladies and gentlemen, 39 rand. Let's go 39, number 39, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39. At 39 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39. Let's go 39, ladies and gentlemen, 38, start me. Let's go 38 now, ladies and gentlemen, 38. Let's start me at 38. 38 rand, dames en heren, wat sille. Let's go 38 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38, number 38 now. Let's go 38, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38. 38 rand, dames en heren, start me at 37. At 37, ladies and gentlemen, 37, surely 37. Let's go 37 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 37. 37 rand, dames en heren, wat sille. Let's go 37 now, 37, ladies and gentlemen, 37. 37, ladies and gentlemen, at 37. Anybody at 37? You're just going to pass them by, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk to you after the sale, ladies and gentlemen. Just moving on to lot number 14, ladies and gentlemen. 31 male calves, ladies and gentlemen. 223 kilograms just outside of Barclay, ladies and gentlemen. Start me at 42. At 42, make it 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41 now, 41, ladies and gentlemen. At 41, what's it? Let's go 41 now, 41, 20 now, 20. Let's go 41, 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 20 now, 41, 20 now, 41, 20. Let's go 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. At 41, 20 now, 41, 20, ladies and gentlemen. At 41, 20, is 31 manlike color, dames en heren, 223. 41, 20, asking 20, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 41, 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41, 20. Let's go 41, 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41, 20. 41, 20, ladies and gentlemen, are you all out and done at 41 rand? 41 rand. We're just going to pass them by at 41. We'll talk to you afterwards. Thank you very much. 5015. Moving on to lot number 15. Lot number 15. 35 male cows, ladies and gentlemen. 261 kgs. Just outside of Barclay, ladies and gentlemen. 41, start me. I'd go 41, ladies and gentlemen. 41 now, 41, make it 41 now. At the end of your dames en heren, wat sille. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, start me at 41. At 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41 now, start at 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 40. At 40 rand, dames en heren, wat sille. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, asking 40, ladies and gentlemen. At 40, make it 40, 20 now, 40, 20. Let's go 40, 20, ladies and gentlemen, 40, 20 now, 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 20. Make it 40, 20 now, 40, 20. At 40, 20, 40 now. Let's go 40, 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, 40 cent. At 40, 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 40, 60 now. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 60, 40 rand, 60 cent, 80 now. Let's go 40, 80 now, ladies and gentlemen, 41. Asking 41, ladies and gentlemen, say now, let's go 41 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Let's go 41 now, 41, 20. At 41, 20 now, 40, 40. Let's go 41, 40 now, 41, 40. At 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 41, 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41, 60. Let's go 41, 60, ladies and gentlemen, 41, 80. Let's go 80 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 80. At 41, 80 now, 41, 80. Let's go 41, 80, ladies and gentlemen, 44, let's go 41, 80 now, 80, ladies and gentlemen, asking 80. At 41, 80 now, 41, 80. At 80 now, 80, ladies and gentlemen, asking 80. At 41, 80, ladies and gentlemen. At 41, 80, ladies and gentlemen. Are you all out and done? At 41, 60, ladies and gentlemen. Going once. At 42 now, 42, 20. Let's go 42, 20 now, 20, 20, 40 now, 40. Let's go 42, 40 now, asking 42, 40. At 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, 42, 60 now. Let's go 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 60 now, 60, ladies and gentlemen, 42, 60. Let's go 42, 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 60 now, 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Are you all out and done? At 42, 40, ladies and gentlemen. Going once, going twice. 42, 40, ladies and gentlemen. All out and done. No more. And sold, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Buyer number 5015 takes it away at 42.40. Thank you so much. Moving on to lot number 16, ladies and gentlemen. 22 male calves, 323 kilograms, ladies and gentlemen. 30 kilometers outside of Barclay East. Start me, ladies and gentlemen, let's go 40. At 40 now, 40, start me at 38. 38 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 38, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38. Now, 38, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 38, start me at 37. 37 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 37 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 37. Number 37. Let's go 37, ladies and gentlemen, start me at 36. At 36, ladies and gentlemen, asking 36 now, wat sê hulle? 36 rand. Let's go 36, number 36, ladies and gentlemen, asking 36. 36 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 36, number 36, ladies and gentlemen, asking 36. 36 rand, dames en heren, what do you say? Start me at 35. Let's go 35, ladies and gentlemen, 35 rand, wat sê hulle aan vir 35 rand no. Let's go 35, ladies and gentlemen, asking 35, 20. Let's go 20, number 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 35, 20, number 20. Let's go 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20, number 20, 20, number 20. Let's go 35, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 20, number 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. At 35, 20, number 35, 20. Anybody at 35, 20, going to sell at 35, ladies and gentlemen. All out and done at 35, going once, going twice. We're just going to pass them by at 35 rand. We'll talk to you just after the sale. Thank you very much. Moving on to lot number 18, ladies and gentlemen. Lot number 18, 63, bull color, dames en heren. Excuse? Lot 17. Sorry. Lot 17, sorry. Lot 17. Net voorbij gegaan, sorry daar so. Lot 17, ladies and gentlemen, 78 bull colors, 229 kilogram, dames en heren, kyk mooi, daar soos hulle, how do you say, ladies and gentlemen, start me, let's go 42, at 42, now we're at 42, start me at 40, now we're at 40, ladies and gentlemen, at 40, now we're at 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, let's go 40, now we're at 40, now we're at 40, now we're at 40, at 40, 20, now make it 20, let's go 20, now we're at 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20, at 40, 20, now we're at 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20, let's go 40, 20, now we're at 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20, let's go 20, ladies and gentlemen, let's say, let's go 40, 20, now 40 rand 20 cents, ladies and gentlemen, let's go 40, 20, now we're at 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20, let's go 20, ladies and gentlemen, 20, 60, 80 now, let's go 80, at 41 now, 41, 20, at 41, 40 now, 41, 60, 80, let's go 80, 42 now, 42, 20, 40 now, let's go 40, now, ladies and gentlemen, 60, 80, 43 now, 43, at 43, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43, 20, 40 now, 40, let's go 40, ladies and gentlemen, 43, 40, let's go 43, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43, 40, let's go 43, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43, 40, let's go 43, 40 now, 40, ladies and gentlemen, let's go 43, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 43 rand en 40 sente, dames en heren, kyk mooi, at 43, 40 now, 43, 40, let's go 43, 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43, 40, let's go 43, 40 now, 43, 40, asking 43, 40, ladies and gentlemen, are you all out and done at 43, 20, ladies and gentlemen, all out and done, no more, net gauw gehoor, gaan ons na die tyd praat, ons gaan net gauw na die tyd praat, just gonna talk afterwards, buy number 5015, 4320. Thank you. Moving on to lot number 18, ladies and gentlemen. Lot number 18. 63 bull colors, dames en heren. 272 kilogram. Hulle is net voor Barclay, dames en heren. Top colors hier so, dames en heren. What do you say? Start me. Let's go 42 now. We're at 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. Let's go 42 now. We're at 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. At 42 now. We're at 42 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. At 42 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 42 now. We're at 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. 42 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? At 42, make it 41 now, we're 41 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Let's go 41 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41 now, we're 41. Make it 41, ladies and gentlemen, start me at 40. Let's go 40 now, we're 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. At 40 rand, dames en heren, at 40 now, make it 40, 20. Let's go 20 now, 40. At 40, now, we're 40, 60 now, we're 60, 80, make it 41. Let's go 40, 41 now, we're 41, 20 now, we're 41, 20. Asking 41, 20 now, we're 41, 20, ladies and gentlemen, 40. At 40, 60 now, asking 41, 60, 80 now, we're 42. Let's go 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42, 20. At 20, 40 now, asking 40, 60, 80. Let's go 80, ladies and gentlemen, 90. At 42, 80 now, we're 42, 3. At 43, 20 now, we're 43, 20. Asking 43, 20, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 43, 20 now, we're 43, 40. At 40, 60 now, we're 43, 60. Asking 43, 60, ladies and gentlemen. At 60 now, we're 60, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say over 60 cent. Let's go 43, 60, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 43, 60. Let's go 43, 60, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 43, 60, ladies and gentlemen. At 43, 40, ladies and gentlemen. 43 rand en 40 sent, dames en heren. 43.40. We'll just talk to you afterwards. Buy number 5015. 43.60. Thank you very much, 5015. Sal net na die tyd gou met jou gesels om daai koop te bevestig. Dis net met die koper praat nou gou na die tyd. Baie dankie. Lot nommer 19, dames en here, wat vir ons inkom. Hierso opkom, dames en here, lot nummer 19 is 17 vers colors, 17 heifers, ladies and gentlemen, 253 kilograms, ladies and gentlemen, just outside of Barclays. Why you say start me 38 now? Let's go 38, ladies and gentlemen, 38 rande. Let's go 38, number 38, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38, number 38. 38 rande, dames en here, wat sê hulle? Let's go 38, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38 now, wat sê hulle over 38 rande? Let's go 38 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38. Start me at 37 now. Let's go 37, ladies and gentlemen, 37 rande. Let's go 37, ladies and gentlemen, asking 37. At 37 now, asking 37, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 37 now, 37 now, 37 now. At 37 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 37. 37 rande, dames en here, wat sê hulle? At 37, ladies and gentlemen, anybody at 37? 37 rand, dames en here, 37. Ons gaat hulle net so bietjie blad verby gaan, dames en here. Ons gaat net so bietjie verby staan. Praat ons met julle na die tyd. Lot nummer 20, ons beweeg aan na lot nummer 20 toe. Lot nummer 20. 13 bull colors, dames en here. Net buite Barclay, 70 kilos buite Barclay, dames en here, 246 kilogram. Daar staan hulle, dames en here. Let's go, start me 42 now. At 42 now, 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42 now, 42. Asking 42, ladies and gentlemen, start me at 41. Let's go 41 now, 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. Let's go 41 now, ladies and gentlemen, 41 rande. Let's go 41 now, 41, 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 41, 20 now, 41, 20. At 41, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 20. At 41, 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, everybody at 20. Let's go 41, 20 now, 41, 20. At 41 rand, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to pass them by a little. We'll talk to you afterwards by number 5015 at 41 rand. Ons praat nou met jou. As net hier met die kopers bietjie spook, dan kom ons terug na jou toe. Baie dankie. Lot nummer 21, dames en here. 7 vers colors, 235 kilogram, dames en here. What do you say? 38, start me. Let's go 38 now, 38 rande, dames en here, wat sê hulle? Let's go 38 now, 38, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38. 38 rande, dames en here, wat sê hulle? Let's go 38 now, 37, asking 37, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody at 37 now, 37, at 37 rande, dames en here. 37, anybody at 37? We're just gonna pass them by. Ons gaat hulle net so bietjie laat verby staan. Ons beweeg aan na lot nummer 22 toe, dames en here, lot 22, ladies and gentlemen. 19 male cows, bull cows, ladies and gentlemen, 246 kilograms, 3 kilos from roads, ladies and gentlemen, 3 kilometer van roads af. Daar is hulle 19 bull colors, dames en here, what do you say? 41, start me. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, let's say now for 41 rande. Let's go 41 now, 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41 now, 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41 now, 41. At 40 now, 40, start me at 40. Let's go 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. At 40 rande, dames en here, wat sê hulle? Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. 40 rande, dames en here, wat sê hulle? At 40 now, 40, 20, asking 20. Let's go 40, 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. At 40, 40, 20 now, 40, 20. Let's go 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. At 20, dames en here, wat sê hulle? At 40, 20 now, 20, 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 40, 20 now, 40, 20. Are you all out and done at 40, ladies and gentlemen? So hulle net so bietjie laat verby gaan. Ons gaan nou met jou praat. Koper nummer 5015. Het 40 rand daar so. Ons gaan nou met jou praat. Baie dankie. Ons waardeer. Ons beweeg dan aan lot 23 toe, dames en here, 10 bull colors. Dames en here, 10 bull colors, 50 kilometer van Barclay af, in roodse rigting. Hulle weeg 230 kilogram, dames en here. What do you say? 41, start me. Let's go 41 now, 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41 now, 41. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41 now, 41 rande. Let's go 41, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41. At 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 40 rande. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. 40 rande, 40, make it 40, 20 now, 40, 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. At 40, 20 now, 40, 20. Asking 40, 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. At 20 now, 40, 20. At 40 rand en 20 cent, dames en here, is hulle allemaal klaar op 40 rand. Ons gaat nou met jou praat. Koper nummer 5015. We'll talk to you just now. We'll just pass them by. Thank you very much. Lot number 24, ladies and gentlemen. 17 bull colors, 17 bull cows, ladies and gentlemen, 255 kilograms, 3 kilometers outside of Lady Grey, Barclay East towards Lady Grey. What do you say? Start me, ladies and gentlemen, 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen. Let's over 40 rande. At 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, is reg langs die teerpad. At 40 now, 40, 40, wat sê hulle? Let's go 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40 now, 40. At make it 40 now, 40, 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 40, 20 now, 40, 20. At 40 rand 20 sente, dames en heren, 20, 20, 40 now. Let's go 40, 60 now, 60. Asking 60, ladies and gentlemen, 40, 60. At 40, 60, ladies and gentlemen, wat sê hulle? At 40, 60, 80 now. Asking 40, 80, 80, 41 now, 41. At 41, 20 now, 20, 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20 now, 41, 20. Ask for 41, 20, 40 now. At 41, 40, 60 now, 41, 60. At 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, 60. At 41, 60 now, 41, 60. Asking 41, 60, ladies and gentlemen. At 41, 60, 41, 80. At 42 now. Asking 42 now, 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. At go 42 now, 42. 42 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 42 now, 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. 42 rand, 42, 20 now, 42, 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40. At 42, 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, 40 now, 40. At 42, 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42, 40. At 42 rand, 40 sente, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 42 now, 40. At 40, 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, 42 now, 40. Anybody at 42, 40? 42, 20, ladies and gentlemen, 42, 20, ladies and gentlemen. All uit en dan, ons gaan net gauw na die tyd met jou praat, die prijs, 42, 20. Ons gaan nou met jou praat, baie, dankie. Ons gaan net bevestig met ons kopers, verkopers, baie, dankie. Lot nummer 25 vir ons hierso, dames en heren, lot 25, 250 kalors, dames en heren, 160 manlik, 90 verse, dames en heren, 160 male calves, ladies and gentlemen, 90 heifers, 260 kilograms, ladies and gentlemen, they are in Elliot, ladies and gentlemen, Elliot Kowa. What do you say? Hulle is allemaal gespeen. What do you say, ladies and gentlemen, start me. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 40 now, 40, 40, asking 40 now, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. At 40 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. 40 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. At 40 now, 40, 40, 20. Let's go 40, 20 now, 40, 20, 20 now, 20. At 20, 40 now, let's go 40, 40 now, 40, 40. Asking 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 40 rand, 40 sente. Let's go 40, 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 40. Let's go 40, 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 40. At 40, 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, are you all out and done at 40, 20, ladies and gentlemen? 40, 20, ladies and gentlemen, 40, 40, 40, 80 now. Let's go 40, 80, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40, 80. At 41 now, 41, asking 41, ladies and gentlemen, 41, 20. At 20, 40 now, 40, 60. At 60 now, 80, let's go 80. At 80, 42 now, 42. Let's go 42, 20, 20, 40 now, 40. At 42, 40, 60 now, 42, 60, 80. At 80 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 80. At 43, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43, 20. Let's go 43, 20 now, 20. Let's go 43, 20 now, 20, 40. Let's go 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 60. Let's go 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43, 60. Let's go 43, 60, ladies and gentlemen, wat sê hulle? Let's go 43, 60 now, 43 rand 60 sent, dames en heren. Let's go 43, 60, ladies and gentlemen, asking 43, 60. Are you all out and done, ladies and gentlemen, at 43, 40, ladies and gentlemen, 43, 40, ladies and gentlemen, going once, going twice, ladies and gentlemen, at 43, 40, asking 43, 60, ladies and gentlemen, once and twice, all out and all done, and sold, bye, donkey, 43, 40, they sold, bye, donkey, buy number 5015, bye, donkey, much appreciated there. Moving on to lot number 26, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the next three lots, ladies and gentlemen, 26, 27 and 28, is next to the Tara, ladies and gentlemen. Baie naby aan Tarkastad, dames en heren, als teen die teerpad die laaipunte, 26, 27 en 28, dames en heren. Lot number 26, 88 calves, ladies and gentlemen, 50 heifers and 38 bull calves, 280 kilograms, ladies and gentlemen. Start me at 40. Let's go 40, ladies and gentlemen, 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. At 40 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 40 now, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40 now, 40. Let's go 40, ladies and gentlemen, wat sê hulle? 40 rand, start me at 39. Let's go 39, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39. 39 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 39 now, 39, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39. 39 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 38, ladies and gentlemen, asking 38 now, 38, ladies and gentlemen. At 39, donkey. At 39, 20 now, 20, 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. At 39, 40 now, 39, 40. Let's go 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. At 60 now, ladies and gentlemen, 38. 80 now, 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 20 now, 40, 20 now, 40, 20. Asking 40, 20, make it 40, 60 now, 60, 80. Let's go 80, 41 now. At 41, ladies and gentlemen, 41, 20 now, 20, 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 41, 40 now, 41, 40, 60 now. At 41, 60, 41, 80. At 80 now, asking 80. At 41, 80, ladies and gentlemen, 41, 80. 4180, ladies and gentlemen, are you all out and done at 4160, ladies and gentlemen, asking 4180. 80 now, 80, ladies and gentlemen, 4180. All out and done at 4160, ladies and gentlemen, all out and done, 4160. Going once, going twice, all out, and all done. Sold there, buy number 5015. Takes it away for 4160, ladies and gentlemen. Bye bye, donkey. Thank you there. Moving on to lot number 27, ladies and gentlemen. 47 calves, 22 heifers, 25 bull calves, 290 kilograms, ladies and gentlemen. Start me. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40 now, 40 Granta. Let's go 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. At Granta, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 40 now, 40, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. At 40 now, 40, 39, asking 39 now. Let's go 39 now, 39, 20. Let's go 39, 20 now, 20, 20 now, 39, 20. Let's go 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39, 20. At 39, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39.20. Let's go 39.20, ladies and gentlemen. At 39.20 now, we're at 39.20. Let's go 39.20, ladies and gentlemen. At 39 rand, ladies and gentlemen. 39 rand daar, so dames en heren. Heb ek net gehoor. Ons gaat nou terugkom na jou toe. At 39, come back to you just after the sale. Thank you very much. 5015. Moving on to lot number 28, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, 50% van lot nummer 28 is melkkruise, dames en heren. 50% van die 44 colors is melkkruise. Wil het maar net vir julle bevestig. 50% of these 44 calves are milk crosses, ladies and gentlemen. So just make sure of that, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, start me. Let's go 36, ladies and gentlemen, 36 rand, dat sê hulle also 36 now, but 36, ladies and gentlemen, asking 36 now. At 36 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 36 now, but 36, ladies and gentlemen, asking 35. Let's go 35 now, but 35, ladies and gentlemen, 34. Let's go 34 now, but 34, ladies and gentlemen, start met 34. At 34 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? At 34 now, but 32. Asking 32 now, ladies and gentlemen, at 34, donkey. At 34 now, make it 34, 20. Let's go 20 now, but 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. Let's go 20 now, but 34, 20 now, 34, 20. Let's go 34, 20, ladies and gentlemen. Asking 34, 20 now, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody at 34, 20? 34, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to talk to you afterwards. At 34, thank you so much. 34. Ons gaan nou weer met jou praat. Net na afloop van die veiling. Baie, dankie. Ons bly dan om lot nummer 29, dames en heren, is onttrek. They are withdrawn, ladies and gentlemen. Lot number 29 is withdrawn. Moving on to lot number 30. Lot number 30, ladies and gentlemen. Net die getal reg maak daar, so it's 15 bull calves, 10 heifers, ladies and gentlemen. Total of 25 calves. 25 calves, ladies and gentlemen. Next to the tar road. About 230 kilograms average, ladies and gentlemen. Reg langs die teerpad, dames en heren, tussen Larry Graham Barkley. What do you say? Start me. I'd go 40 now, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's get around the dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 40 now, 40, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Let's go 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. Get around the dames en heren, wat sê hulle? Let's go 40 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 40. At 40 now, 40, wat sê hulle? 39, start me. Let's go 39, ladies and gentlemen, asking 39 now. At 39, ladies and gentlemen, 39, 20 now, 20. Let's go 20 now, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20. At 39, 20 now, 39, 20, ladies and gentlemen. At 39, 20 now, 39, 20. All out and done at 39, ladies and gentlemen. 39, ons gaan hom net so bietjie laat oorstaan. We'll talk to you after the sale. 39. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you just after the sale. Thank you. Moving on to lot number 31, ladies and gentlemen. 120, dames en heren, 100% males. Bull calves, ladies and gentlemen. Hulle is een plek lie, loading one place between Hugh and Elliot, ladies and gentlemen. 120 of them bull calves, ladies and gentlemen. 110 to 120 kilograms. What do you say? 42, start me. Let's go 42 now, but 42, ladies and gentlemen, asking 42. 42 rand, dames en heren, wat sê hulle? R42, dames en heren, at 42 now, 42, asking 41, ladies and gentlemen, 41 now, let's go 41 now, 41, 41, 20, asking 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41, 20, let's go 20 now, 41, 20 now, 41, 20, let's go 20 now, ladies and gentlemen, asking 20, at 41, 20 now, 41, 20, ladies and gentlemen, asking 41, 20, let's go 20 now, 20, 20, ladies and gentlemen, at 41, 20 now, 41, all out and done at 41, ladies and gentlemen, 41 rand also, dames en heren, at 41 rand, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to pass them by, we'll talk to you just after the sale. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, dankie. That's the sale, ladies and gentlemen. Dankie vir almal wat ingeskakel het, dames en here. Dankie vir die verkopers sowel as die kopers. Ons gaan nou met julle praat oor daai paar wat ons net laat oorstaan het. Ons wil net gou met die verkopers praat en dan hulle net dan sal ons verder met julle praat. Baie dankie. Mooi dag verder.